Taking an example from the Portswigger community, let's continue to build on our knowledge and understanding of writing custom plugins using Python. Now, this example that we're going to take a look at is called Example Scanner Checks. And as the name alludes to, we're going to look at some passive and active scanning and have this extension do some special things for us. We're going to see inside of this extension code that we can create scanner insertion points, and based on particular criteria that gets matched, we can create a new scan issue. Now, the beginning of this code is going to seem very similar to other examples we've looked at. You will see an extensive use of the helpers here because we need to look in detail at the response that we're getting as it flows through Scanner. Of course, the implementation of the iScanner check is most predominant in this example, and there is already the inclusion of some debug statements. Of course, you are welcome to add more debug statements if you would like to see more output. In order to get this sample code to work exactly right, you're going to need to have Node.js downloaded, and you're going to have to run that Node.js server. We did this in a similar fashion with the Java extensions. Basically, you need to make sure that you download Node.js, and you can get that at this URL. From the GitHub location, you will see a folder called /server. Inside of there is a server.js that we will run at command line. And what that does is it's going to start a web server on your localhost port 8000. Now the command to start that is node server.js. So what you'll do is you'll open up your browser to this URL. Let's go ahead and take a look at this demo where we look at the implementation code for the sample scanner checks. We're going to install that extension into Burp, and then we're going to do a live demo of that. Now let's take a look at a plugin from the Portswigger community. This is Custom Scanner Checks. If we take a look at the source code, we can see that we've got the implementation for, of course, iBurp Extender, but we've also got an iScanner check and an iScan issue. These particular strings are of interest in this plugin. This plugin is going to look for particular verbiage, special comments that it sees inside of the code, and when it sees those comments, it's going to flag that and create a new scan issue. If we look in register extender callbacks, this is what we have seen in the past. We just have our callbacks, some helpers to help us analyze the request and response, our extension name, and then we register our scanner check. Now this get matches function is going to look for particular matching inside of the response. If we look at our passive scan, we can see that if we do receive a match for the grep string bytes, which is up above, and that is looking for the grep string, what's going to happen is we are going to create a new issue, and it's going to be called CMS info leakage. It's going to return to us the string that it found, and the severity of this issue will be informational. Now for the active scan, it's the same idea here. The only difference is that the match will be looking for a pipe, and in that case it's going to create a pipe injection. Now if you scroll to the bottom, you'll notice that there is the declaration of the custom scan issue class. So this is a class that allows for that custom scan issue to be created. Okay, let's go ahead and load this up inside of Burp. So we're going to add our new extension. The type is Python. Now, in order to see this run properly, we have to start the server.js via Node. So let's go ahead and do that now. I happen to have my particular PyCharm project under a project name called Pluralsight. Underneath there, you'll find the folder structure that is available in the demos.zip. So it's called extension sample scanner checks. Underneath there, there's a folder called example scanner checks, and then another folder called server. Inside of there, you'll see the demo.asp.x and the server.js. You need to have Node.js pre-installed before you can run this command, but let's go ahead and start the server up now. You should receive a confirmation that it's running on localhost. Let's go ahead and open our browser there. I have the node server running, and I'm going to put something inside of the input box and submit. And now let's go ahead and look at our target tab. And what you'll notice is this CMS info leakage. Let's go ahead and click that. Now, if you'll notice, I didn't actually explicitly do a passive scan, but it found this anyway, and that's because just going to the site, a passive scan happened to be done. But you can see here that this particular issue was generated by the burp extension custom scanner checks. We take a look at the request, we glance just to the domain. The response that we received flagged these particular words, page generated by. And because of that, we then had a match and it created a new issue of severity information. Now, if we wanted to, we could right-click and do an active scan. And after doing an active scan, you will notice the pipe injection, which was the other issue that this particular extension is supposed to look for. And there you see the unexpected pipe. So hopefully this gives you a nice foundation for how you can create an extension, look for specific strings, and create your own scan issue class so that you can assign severities and assign verbiage accordingly. So in summary, in this module you learned a lot about Python plugins, their interfaces. We looked at a lot of sample code, both from Portswigger as well as from the community. So in the next module, you're going to be challenged to do some exercises in writing Python extensions.